You're live though.
What?
You're alive.
Am I alive? Oh, I'm live. I'm live
Yes, you are alive.
on YouTube. I'm live and alive and breathing. Red-blooded mammal.
Oh, really? I thought you said it was blue-blooded.
Standing IBTC, moving forward.
Business trends beyond the headlines. Government policies, macro indices, market movement. Business Express on Smooth 98.1.
Studio.
Association.
Lagos, Lagos, Lagos. Good morning to you. It is Business Express on Smooth 98.1 FM. I am Rotus, your humble host. Speaking of humility, shout out to Uyi. Met Uyi yesterday, another listener. It's just every time I meet you guys, it's just incredibly humbling experience. So shout out to Uyi and all our listeners of the program. We are streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/smooth981. We are on Twitter at smooth981fm. Do follow us. I just uploaded a short video just now, not too long. In fact, it's on our WhatsApp. If you are following us, 0809 444 089 0981 0809 444 0981. That's our WhatsApp channel. There's a Lagos 2 days ago. It was Tuesday now. Yes, it was on Tuesday. We were talking about the tweets that I received from one of our listeners where there was this big ad on a BRT bus talking about the corn investment, 50% return in 6 months. We talked about it here, right? We talked. Only for me to walk into the station this morning and see flyers from the same company offering the same thing. So I put up the flyer in the video like, wow, we talked about this. So look, obviously there's some big advertising campaign behind. I mean, of course, I don't even know why I didn't think about this. If you have the money to be splashing ads on BRT buses, then obviously you have money to spread out flyers and be. Please, Lagos, I'm not attacking anybody here. I'm just telling you, my dear listeners, to please be careful. And also, if you know anyone that brings these things to just ask questions. One of the questions is, how are you able to make this return in 6 months? Things are, I don't know, it's probably the economic situation. All these things are popping up left and right, and it's quite alarming. All right, there's a stack of flyers on the desk when I walked in this one, and I was like, geez, this is. So check the video. You'll see the video on our WhatsApp. I'm still loading it up on Twitter. Again, with our guest, the talented Mr. Smith. In fact, he introduced me to Uyi yesterday. He said that these risks, whenever an investment option is presented to you, you want to know about the risks. How risky is this thing? You can't just come up to somebody and say you can make this amount of money in this amount of time. All right. So anyway, please be on the lookout. Just be careful. Ask questions, and listen to this show. All right. If you see any investment scheme out there, tag me on Twitter. Tag SmoothFM at Smooth91FM. Use the hashtag businessexpress91. My handle is Rotan Quotes, ROTANKWT. Hey Rotus, I saw this. Do you think this is a viable investment? And so on and so forth. If corn could give you 50% return in 6 months, every corn farmer in Nigeria would be rich. Okay, everyone. That's just the fact of it. But there's no magic to this thing. All right, there's no magic. If you could get 50% return in 6 months, everybody that was farming corn right now would be a wealthy person. It's that simple. So, and again, the highest yielding security in the market is Omo bills. And not everybody can participate. You heard Mazino doing the news when he talked about the 287% oversubscription in bonds. The money, the CBN has restricted everybody minus banks and foreign investors from the Omo bills. The money has to go somewhere. So pretty much treasury bills auctions will be oversubscribed, bonds will be oversubscribed. The money has to go somewhere, right? So again, this is your key. What is the market return right now? Omo bills are doing that kind 12, 13%. That's as high as it goes. So that should be in your ear and in your brain when someone comes to you and says you can make 50% return. It's like, come on, where else well, okay, you know what, stocks, you can, stock market isn't doing that well, but if you could make a return, that kind of return, you'd probably be in the stock market, but it's highly volatile and risky. So please be careful. Please be careful, folks, because this thing is worrying. This thing is quite. I'm you know what? I'm tempted. I'm very tempted to bring, because I understand that the CEO of this company was on one of the major television channels. In fact, somebody reached out to me. I think I said this on Tuesday. They said that Rotus, I invested in this thing because I saw the CEO on television. So, I'm tempted to bring him on here, but then I don't want to turn it into one massive back and forth where it looks like I'm trying to wreck his company. But I want to, I want to know how he's able to do this. But anyway, let's move on. Benga Kamu says Rotus, Lassa fever is in Lagos and the government is on top of the situation. Yes, look. We have to give the government props, right? When they're doing the right thing. Even the coronavirus, Center for Disease, the CDC, they came out and they're like, hey, we're on top of this. This is what you need to do. They set up the screenings at the airports, right? Because a lot of Nigerians do business in China. Lassa fever, although some people have lost their lives, they are doing the best that they can. Wait, Benga, I hope this isn't sarcasm. You're not being sarcastic, are you? No, I think Benga is being straightforward. So they are doing the best that they can as far as health. Although I did see a news headline in one of the papers, I think it was this day, where they said the federal government was telling customs that they should watch out for people who have sickly symptoms. I think that's what the headline said. That's how the coronavirus works. So you can be infected and not even show symptoms. So it goes beyond just trying to watch out for people who have symptoms. It goes beyond that. Meanwhile, the coronavirus is still wrecking things. Yinka says they keep feasting on the gullibility of Nigerians. As bad as it looks and sounds, MMM is still the only Ponzi scheme that's sincere. Fact is, someone is going to get burnt. The question is, who is it going to be? That's MMM for you. But with these modified MMM schemes called agro investments, it baffles me. We know those that popped up offering 30%. Now, when the jungle matured, they're now doing 13 to 16. See, everyone is just trying to give everybody leg over from Yinka. Ifoma, Ifoma has seen the video. My same thoughts when I saw them online. Checked their Instagram page and saw they aren't even up to 6 months old and haven't completed a full cycle. I mean, imagine that, right? That Ifoma makes an excellent point. So brand new company that just came out. I feel somebody's going to come after me for saying all this. And I haven't mentioned the company. I've been very careful not to mention their name, but you've seen, those of you that know have seen the ads. Please just tell your friends and family, just ask questions. That's all. When you start to ask questions, that's when you start to see how shaky or how strong this investment option is. That's all I'm saying. Please be careful. Patrick, wow, look at this. Patrick has sent me, man, this is amazing. I should share this picture. Patrick has sent me a notebook. He says, hey, good morning. I received the flyers and a notepad. It was distributed at the toll gates. Now, wow. Funny, I heard you talk about it in the morning, and that same day on my way back from work, I got the notepad. This is... anyway, thank you for that, Patrick. So they're distributing flyers, notepads, BRT buses, everything. Okay, Olumide, wow, indeed, this looks good. Information in the morning. Yes, Olumide, that's what we do here. We have to tell you guys again. I'm not saying it's a bad investment. Everybody is doing agri. I do not want to be accused of demarketing any companies here. All I'm saying is ask questions. If you want to reach out, and every time we tell you we recommend stocks or investments, we say reach out to an investment advisor. Like a Stanbic, that's our host for today. If they've offered lots of Stanbic products, you go there, you sit to an investment advisor at Stanbic. They will tell you the risks. They will tell you the pros and cons, everything you need to know. That's how it works. That's how investment works. You can't just offer someone and say, you can make this amount of money, and they don't say anything about the risks. So you have to ask questions. Wilkaholic, I like this name. That's a nice name. I agree with you, Rotus. These agro investments are scary. Yeah, they are. Let's see, Chinedu here. Yep, Chinedu also got the same notebook as well. So. Now, wow. Anyway, Andy, 100 years into the future, Nigerians will continue to fall prey to Ponzi schemes. It's a lack of financial education. I should point out, thank you for that message, Andy. This is worldwide. There was a news piece that came out in the Wall Street Journal last week. I remember reading about it. I think I tweeted it. Cryptocurrency scams Can you guess how much they took out or they amounted to rather in 2019? $4 billion. $4 billion in cryptocurrency scams in 2019. So it's not just Nigerians. It's although that's cryptocurrency though, but so it's all over the place, right? It's worldwide. And then of course I think I talked about that story in the Punch. The guy who built people to the tune of 250 or 300 million naira. That was a forex scam. Now again, we have to make this clear distinction. It's not that cryptocurrencies are fraudulent on their own, or forex is fraudulent on its own. It's that people are using them as mediums to tell other people that you can make these exorbitant returns in this amount of time. So I'm not telling you corn is a scam on its own. Corn is a product that we grow, right? So, the issue is, can you make X amount in this amount of time? That's the only issue, right? So again, just the risks. Okay, federal government to dump discos over inefficiency. This is coming out of the Punch. I don't know, I have to say this was quite disturbing words here from the Minister of Power, Saleh Maman. He was briefing State House correspondents after their weekly Federal Executive Council, and he was talking tough. He was saying, hey, look, we've sunk in about 1.7 trillion naira into the power sector. The discos are not performing. They are not the power that they're getting from the gencos. They're not giving it to the end users, and we might have to look. I now said he had made some recommendations to the Federal Executive Council as to what to do about them. It sounded kind of threatening, and when they pressed him, the reporters pressed him, what is your recommendation? He didn't give them any inclination about what he wanted to do. But I think we have to take it easy with the discos. I don't know about you. So those of you that do estimated billing, I want to chop my head off. But what I'm saying is, the discos have their own issues. There's some of us bypass. Not everybody has meters, although I understand that the responsibility for meters is supposed to be on the discos, to make sure everybody is metered, but it's going to take a while to do that. And then there's the issue of tariffs. Our dear Minister of Power, Saleh Maman, did not say anything about the tariffs, cost-reflective tariffs. I think that's what discos have been crying out for. And then there's the issue of whether or not the grid has the full capacity. I mean, look, we've talked about this thing over and over again, right? We've talked about this power situation continuously. So this harsh rhetoric that we're hearing from the minister with regards to the discos, I don't think it sounds very fair, but we'll see whatever recommendations he comes out with over the next few days, because this power thing is heavy. Dalvin wants trouble. Dalvin here says, Rotus, please invite the CEO over so he can analyze. Rotus, please invite the CEO over to your show so he can analyze the business model for us. We'll tell Aya and Valentine to put a leash on you so you're not overreactive. Dalvin from Yaba. Dalvin, you want fights here this morning? Okay, this is from Ben. Good morning, Rotus. Please share the ad with me. I'm yet to see. Okay, no, it's on our WhatsApp. If Ben, if you've saved our phone number, so just save Smoothfm as a contact. Again, 0809 444 0981, and then we'll save you as well. And also, it's on our Twitter. I've already tweeted it, I believe, at Smooth981FM. You'll see it. And again, the fact that there's now notebooks being distributed at the toll is quite disturbing. Samson says, Rotus, the desire to invest in some of these get-rich-quick schemes could be driven by poverty in the land and also greed. Investment education is key. Thank you for that, Samson. And by the way, look, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, they came out with some news a couple days ago saying that they had recovered like 2.3 billion naira from quote-unquote wonder banks. So the SEC is trying, all right? We have to give props to the Securities and Exchange Commission. But as Samson has alluded to and others, there needs to be more of an awareness campaign around the country online, because the SEC keeps talking about physical companies. They keep talking about shutting down buildings and sealing buildings off. But a lot of these businesses are online. And I have to say, this company with this massive advertising campaign it's doing, I would have, liked that somebody from the SEC would say, hey, can you give us more information on this, on how you're doing this? But hey, anyway, again, just telling people to be careful. Tokbe from Aja. Tokwe says, I think you should bring them on air. I believe there should be a model. Let's interview them. They says, now responding to Dami, he says, Dami from Yaba has made a great point. It could be a model that we're not sure of yet. Tokwe, what's the model? What's the model? You plant, it's corn, right? See, look, investing is not magical unless you are doing some you are doing these highly exotic securities overseas where they use they mix things together. This is agriculture. You plant something in the ground, it grows, you harvest it, and you sell it to other people. Finish. There's no magic here. So I don't know what the secret model is. I don't know what it is. There's no magic, especially when it comes to Greek. Right, that's just the point I'm making. So when you hear these exorbitant returns, you have to sit down and say, how are you doing this? But again, I think there might be there could be fireworks in the studio. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave that alone as far as inviting anybody on there. And 20 minutes is not enough time. Oh my goodness, so many messages. Let's see here. Toby. Hi Rotus, please, what is the safest investment for about 10 million with the highest return? Emphasis on safest. So you see, I'm checking your risk appetite now, Toby. Toby, it's treasury bills, right? Federal government bonds, because they are backed by the full faith and credit of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That means that come what may, the Federal Republic of Nigeria will last print money and give you back your investment. So if safety is your issue, then you want to go with federal government-backed securities like treasury bills and bonds. Unfortunately, Toby, the returns are, as I just said at the top of the show, as a result of the central bank, because of their forex priorities in trying to make sure they bring enough foreign exchange into the country and prop up the reserves, they've excluded a number of PFAs and individuals and so on from OMO bills. It's only foreign investors and banks. And so as a result of that, all that money has to go somewhere else. Again, referring to the news bit that Mazino mentioned at the top of the during news about the oversubscription with bonds, the money has to go somewhere. So it's a simple demand and supply thing. Excess funds going into securities pushes yields down. I mean, I think it's even low. So for T-bills now, 91 days doing what, 3%? it's not encouraging, but your money will be safe. And you see, isn't that life? See how complete our life is. You pick one. You either pick safety, knowing that you get your money back at 3% or less, or you want to get risky and jump into the stock market and possibly lose half or all of your money. What do you do? All right, so Toby, there you go. Kai, there are so many messages. Isaac, thank you. Isaac says, are they registered? What is SEC doing? Isaac, I hear CBN, SEC, a number of people listen to this show, so we should maybe bring them on the show as well. Prince, who farms part-time. There was a time some people came to me and my sister that they wanted to use our poultry farms to do something like that with reference to that corn scheme. I called their bluff, so Prince refused to be part of it. Benga Kamo has seen the video on the status. Benga says, Rotus, economic wizardry will always be with us. Let's watch and see how this present scheme will pan out. Yeah, some of you should maybe, but let me just keep quiet. Who else is here now? Okay, you didn't leave a name. Do leave a name with your message. David Taylor says, how does it work? Corn is grown during the rainy season, only during the rainy season. Maybe it's just for the same 6 months of the year you can do the investment. David is suggesting that maybe it's during the rainy season. Jonah from Isolo said, this must be the year of corn. You need to hear directly from those guys. Jonah, I can't get to all the messages. Guys, okay, again, please be careful. Okay, wait, this is Olaiton. The corn investment flyer claimed the investment is insured. Yes, they did. They did claim that. All right, Mazino is giving me the air traffic control signals. Have to wrap up. Thank you all for your messages. Again, please be careful. Ask questions. Ask us on the show. We'll investigate for you. Thank you all for the interactions. We appreciate it. Business Express, Smooth 98.1 FM. Keep it locked. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Beyond the headlines.